So the prelims start off. Oh, they start off with a really good fight, right? We have got the heavyweights. You know what I mean? The heavyweights kick everything off, and we have a debut. So we have Martin Budai against Marcus Busheka. I think that's how you say it. You know what I mean? And man, I am really looking forward to this one, right? So, as I said, Marcus Busheka makes his debut in the organization. He's 35, 6'3", 80-inch reach. He's got a 5-1 overall record, and he's currently on a 1-fight win streak. Which, doesn't sound crazy, right? Like, he's only won 1 fight. How's he get signed? And it's not a last minute situation here, right? Now, Busheka gets signed because Busheka is a motherfucking jiu-jitsu legend. Multiple time champion. He has spent the last few years in one, right? Where he went 5-1. And, he was in that same situation as Ryan Derrida, and a few others where people ain't getting booked. A similar thing happened to like Aaron Pico and a few at Bellator PFL, right? No fights, cards getting cancelled, just some very odd situations. And he finally, I think his contract expired rather than they just cancelled it. But as soon as that happened, and he was able to sign for the UFC because he's early in his career, kind of, but he's so credentialed. He is so skilled, right? He's in recent victories were via rear naked choke. He's got a heel hook, and we don't see a lot of the, north-south choke. We don't see a lot of the larger dudes, the heavyweights, doing this shit. Like Walter Walker is setting things alight with, back-to-back heel hooks. But who else is doing that shit, right? So this is, such a great signing. I've watched him grapple Gordon Ryan, just so many friggin' beasts, right? Antonio Braganetta, Victor Hugo. Man, I've watched these matches, and he is so good. So good. And when he signed for one, I remember when, all the talk was he's coming to MMA. And I was like, fuck, this will be good. This will be interesting. But he signed to one, and it was just like, okay, fine. But maybe let's see what happens. And this is awesome. I cannot wait. But across from him, it's never an easy day when you sign for the UFC, And so across from him is Martin Budai, who's 33, 6'4", 77-inch reach. So, when you look at that, Bukaka does have a 3-inch reach advantage. He's 2 years older, 1 inch taller, right? Budai, aka Badaz, he's on a 2-fight win streak, right? He's 15-2 overall, so a significant experience advantage, right? Significant. significant. He's 6-1 in the UFC. Came via the Contender Series. So last time out, he beat Uran Satabiadev. That was April this year. Went to a decision. Got a split decision win over Andrei Arlovski back in June 2024. Shamil Gaziev is the only person to beat him in the UFC. And that was December 2023, second round stoppage. I've got a Kimura against Josh Parisian. Yeah, that's his, he's knocked people out. As I said, he's had that Kimura. He had a Kimura in the regionals as well. He does like a Kimura, But then there's Kimuras, and then there's Kimuras, right? And, what Buchecha can do is something completely different. Now, with this fight, right, we have this huge experience gap. We definitely have that. And Boudet, he's 6-1 in the UFC. So he's got all of that experience. Buchecha, his debut. But here's the thing. He has fought at multiple ADCCs. He's fought at multiple, just competitions on the big stage. And some jiu-jitsu competitions do get big crowds, right? They're not always televised. You don't always hear about them, but they're not tiny halls, So he is used to that. He's used to pressure. And I think coming to the UFC, it's a great choice. It's a great decision. I'm glad it's happening. And I think he's going to start things off with a win. So I'm going Marcus Buchecha for the win, people. Woo! Cannot wait. I cannot wait. Right? So next we got the featherweights. We have got... where is my... thing. Yeah, we have Mohamed Yahya against Stephen Nugent. And it's another intriguing matchup here, people. Right? Now, the Ninja, Steve Nugent. He's 32, 5'11", 73-inch reach. He's coming off a loss. Right, he's 9-2 overall. And I don't know if you remember, so he came via the Contender Series, fought once in LFA, and he looks so good. Because he was on the regional scenes, just blowing everything up. Right? He was making mad noise. And I think he came via jiu-jitsu, if I remember as well. But he was making real noise, struggling to get fights. He got to the Contender in 2019, lost in the third round, flying knee. And he was looking good up to that point, and then it just all fell apart, right? So then he's back on the regionals, but still struggling to get fights. Got a first round stoppage in LFA, so got back to the Contender Series. It wasn't the best of fights, right? So then he gets brought back in 2023. And he's impressive as fuck. So he gets his debut. Gets a contract, gets his debut. And in the debut, it felt like he wasn't fighting how he fights. it was one of those weird ones when it was just like, where's your defense? Where is your? And it just felt it's like, I'm happy to be here, right? I can't believe it. It is so. Yeah, he lost his debut. Lost his debut. Now it wasn't. He didn't get knocked out. It wasn't anything like that. Went the distance. So I'm just chalking that up to, exuberance. And I think what we see going forward is going to be the Stephen Nugent that we are expecting, right? We were always hoping for. Now, across from him is the UAE warrior, Mohamed Yahya. Right, he's 31, 5'9", 73-inch reach. He's got a 12-5 overall record. He is coming off 2 losses. So, you know what I mean? And those are his 2 fights in the UFC. So he needs to win. It could be it, right? This could be the fight that keeps him or has him leaving. We don't know. It's always a difficult one, right? But yeah, he definitely does need a win to break this skid and to show people that he does deserve to be here. We saw him last in August 2024. He lost the first round to Cool Fernandez. And his debut fight was against Trevor Peek in October 2023, and he lost that. Coming up to UFC in the UAE, he was, he went to decision a few times, got an arm triangle. Man, he did stop a few people, right? Did stop a few people. But, yeah. Can he elevate himself, Can he elevate himself? Can he get back to winning ways? Well, as I said, I'm going with Steve Nugent for the win here. Right, so next we jump all the way up to the light heavyweights. We have Ibo Islam against Billy Ilakana. I think that's how you say it, right? So, yes. Billy is 30, 6'2", 77-inch reach. Right, he's got a 7-2 record overall. He's currently on a 1-fight losing streak. Yeah, that was his UFC debut. He fought a couple of times for the PFL, 3 times for LFA. So his debut was against, see a dude on the card, right? He lost to Bogdan Guskov. Lost to Bogdan Guskov back in January. It was a 2nd round guillotine. Before that, right, he knocked his opponent out in the fight that got him to the UFC. That was July 2024. Yeah, a lot of his fights have gone the distance. He got a rear naked choke in his professional debut. But yeah, I think a lot of the times his fights do seem to go the distance, right? So across from him, we have got the last Ottoman, Ibo Aslan. Right, Ibo is 29, 6'3", 77.5-inch reach. He's got a 14-2 record. He is, he's also coming off a loss. So good matchmaking there. So, yes, he is 2-1 in the UFC, came via the Contender Series. So last time out, he got caught in an arm triangle by Ion Cutelaba. That was February this year. His first two fights, though, right? He got third round stoppage in his debut in March 2024 against Anton Turkgil. And then he stopped Rafael Caracu in the first round in October 2024. So he's got that power, right? He can end it all, right? It was a first round stoppage to get him a UFC contract on the Contender Series. And yeah, when you look at his record, it's a lot of stoppages, a lot of first round stoppages as well, you know? So he's definitely got that power, definitely got that power. And that's what, this is, it's a very, very intriguing fight. But I think, you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm going to Last Ottoman. For the win. But yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, they both could get a knockout, right? They both could do that. It's like heavyweights. It's not quite that crazy heavyweight power, but it's still big. You know what I mean? So up we have the ladies, right? And it's our sole female fight on the card. We have the strawweight Amanda Ribas against Tabitha Ritchie. All right. So, a young baby shark, right? She's 30, 5'1", 61-inch reach. She's got 11-3 record. She is coming off a loss. All right, coming off a loss. She's 6-3 in the UFC. Went 3-0 in the LFA. Right, was a former LFA champion. Last time out, she lost to Yan Janon. But boy, Yan is a beast. So going a distance, and you know, she had the reach, deficit, all of those things, but she, you know, did okay. She beat Angela Hill. She beat Tisha Pennington, both in 2024. Right, lost a split decision to Lupi Gardenez in 2023. You know what I mean? She's got some good wins. Beat Jessica Penne. Beat Gillian Robinson, which is a great scalp to have, right? You know what I mean? Baby Shark is very talented. Lost in her debut to Manon Fanon. But that has aged very well, right? That loss, you know, obviously you don't want to lose, but hey, if you're only losing to the most talented, you know. So opposite Baby Shark, we have Amanda Ribas, right? Who, stupid pop-ups. Yes, Amanda Ribas. She is 31, 5'3", 66-inch reach. She's 12-6 overall, coming off of two losses. She's 7-5 in the UFC, right? And last time out, she got caught in an armbar by Mackenzie Dern. And lost to Rose Namajunas before that. So the Dern fight was in January this year. The Namajunas fight was in March 2024. She did beat Luna Pinheiro, right? Third round stoppage in November 2023. Lost to Macy Barber. It has been a bit of an up and down situation after an incredible start, right? She went, what, 5-0, you know, at the beginning, 4-0 at the beginning. Beat Paige Van Sant, Randa Marcus. She did beat Dern early. Emily Whitmore, you know, was looking very good. And then she lost to Marina Rodriguez, right? Got outstruck. And then it's just been kind of win, lose a little bit. So, yeah, we have Hebas, and I think the big thing with Hebas is what she jumps up and down weight classes. She goes from strawweight to flyweight, you know, which isn't always the best thing to do. And it's a bit of about commitment. You know, she's got the skill, clearly has the skills, but sometimes you wonder how much time she's putting into perfecting and learning. You know? Now, this, say, I like this fight. I really do. I think, though, that for Hebas, she might be shark food, right? I'm going Tabitha Ritchie for the win, you know? Yeah, I definitely like this fight for her. But we will see, you know? We will see. Anything can happen. So from there we go to the bantamweights, right? We have got Davy Grant against Damon Blackshear. And just another really good friggin' matchup, right? Dangerous Davy Grant. He's 39, 5'8", 69-inch reach. He's 14-7 overall, coming off a win in his last fight. Right, he's 7-6 in the UFC. He beat Raymond Tavares in December 24. That was his last win. Lost to Daniel Marcus by a split decision. Right, that was July 2023. Beat Rafael Assunção in, I mean, that was a crazy friggin' fight. A crazy fight. You kind of say the referee screwed Assunção, you know? But Grant did, to be able to stay focused, stay in there, and just capitalize on opportunity, right? He did a very good job. Man, there was the close fight with Marlon Vera. The second one, he beat the close fight with Adrian Yanez, which he lost. Right? Now, we've seen Davy Grant, be in there with so many good fighters. Came off the Ultimate Fighter, right? Came off the Ultimate Fighter, lost in the final, but man, it has looked good. Has definitely looked good. You've always wondered, could he get to the pinnacle? I think he's probably past that time now, but I think Davy Grant is so skillful that he can be, you know what I mean? Now, he's facing Damon Black. Alright, the monster. He's 30, 5'10", 72 and half inch reach. Right, he's 17-7-1 overall. He's on a 3-fight win streak at the moment. Woo! He is 5-3-1 in the UFC. So last time out, he beat Alatanghil Atang. That was April this year. He beat Cody Gibson via second round Kimura in March this year. beat Cody Stamen, rear naked choke, November 2024. So, man, really good wins right there. And he bounced back, right? Because he was on a 2 skid, lost to Mario Batista and Montel Jackson. So, yeah, bounced back very well. And as I got a draw against Yusuf Salau, which again is one of those ones that age really well. This Salau is freaking great. That was in Zalau's first run, right? And he was good then. And he's looked sensational now, right? So, man, this is a really good fight. This is a really good fight. And I think the monster just edges things out, just edges things out. But boy, I cannot wait for this fight. So we jump to the welterweights next. We have Muslim Salikov against Carlos Leal Miranda. Five and 2 in the PFL. So he stopped Alex Morano in the first round in March this year. All right, before that, he did lose to Rinat Fakhretdinov. That was a decision in October 2024. Beat Manuel Mena before that, first round stoppage, July 2024. And he did the same to Marco Breno, right? The fight before he got to the UFC. The Mena fight actually was LFA. The Rakhnafinov was his UFC debut. So, yeah, I mean, there's some really good fights, right? He did well in the PFL, got some good wins over there. Did well in LFA. So he's a good fighter. Leal's a good fighter. Stepping in across from the king of Kung Fu, right? Muslim Salikov. Woo! Muslim Salikov is a very good. And he's 41, 5'11", 70-inch reach. Right, so the king of Kung Fu is 21-5 overall, coming off a 2-fight win streak. He's 8-4 in the UFC. Went 3-0 in M1 Global. So he beat Kenon Song with a wheel kick last time out, first round. Woo! Oh my gosh, right? It was devastating. It was just like, fuck. Oh man, it's so good. Right? So that was November 2024. Beat Santiago Ponzinibbio. It was a split decision, July 2024. But I think that was a bit of a tentative one because he was coming off that first round knockout to Randy Brown. So it was just like, fuck. So, but then after that, the Song fight, we got back to the old king of Kung Fu right there. So, man, he is impressive, right? He is very impressive, and when he's on, he is on. and he can get some sensational victories. And I think he's come back to that flow, right? I think his confidence is super high after that wheel kick. And why wouldn't it be? You know what I mean? Right? Why would it not be? So, yeah, I'm picking Salikov for the win right there. To end our prelims, right? Now, this is very interesting. We're at the bantamweight division. We have Bryce Mitchell against Sadid Murmagomedov, right? But oh, I did, boy. Said, he is 33, 5'8", 70-inch reach. Right, he's got an 18-4 record, coming off a loss in his last outing. He's 7-3 in the UFC. And last time out, he lost to Vincenzo Oliveira. That was February this year. But we just saw what Oliveira can do. And damn, right? Damn, he is good. You know? So there's no shame in that at all. No shame in that. Right, he does go, man, he's got stoppages, right? He's had guillotines three times, right? 3 times. So he does know his way on the ground. He does. But there's knowing your way on the ground, and then there's being a legit jiu-jitsu practitioner. And that's Bryce, right? Bryce Fug Nasty Mitchell. He's 30, 5'10", 70-inch reach. He's also coming off a loss in his last fight, right? He's also 17-3 overall. Bryce, he's 8-3 in the UFC, right? He lost to Jean Silva, and that was, right? That was this year, April this year. And, man, he just caught in that ninja choke, right? Like, he'd just come off that win over Chrome Gracie, and that was after getting knocked out by Josh Emmett. So, he has bounced back from, when he's lost, he's always bounced back with a win. Lost to Ilia Topuria, came back and beat Dan Ige. Right? And that's not an easy feat. So we have seen that, right? He's tough. That Edson Barbosa fight was, boy. So Bryce, he's a tough motherfucker, right? Came via the Contender Series. No, sorry, the Ultimate Fighter. Came via the Ultimate Fighter, losing to Brad Katona. But yeah, no, Bryce is very good. He's moving down to the bantamweights. And I think he, starts his new lease on life with a victory. All right, that's what I think. But this is going to be a fun fight to take us in to our main card. That's our prelims.